Go live button, but there is always an epic lag from me pressing that and it's going live. So those of you which have been enjoying live, let me know if the audio is good. That would be fantastic. Right, good evening. I'm Matt. Welcome aboard. Tonight is a special occasion. It has been, we'll say, 6 weeks to 2 months in the making. And there are some definite thank yous out there to be shared, in short. So let me bring you up to speed with some of the things which have happened, which is that many of you will know that I took a break from YouTube for a period of time and came back. And in that period of time, I was able to reflect on some of the approaches which I had made, and I'd actually decided that perhaps I'd made a few mistakes in a few different areas, and I started communication with one or two companies, and what has come from that, thank you Frags by the way, has been absolutely fantastic. So, and that's what tonight's episode is about. I have a fair idea what's in this box, but not really. I don't really know until I open it up. All I've done is taken the labels off the top. Some of you may be able to work out, I'm down there looking on there, which company or which they're talking about. We will get to that in a moment. And with that said, let's change the screens. Let's get straight into this. And those of you which have been waiting since 7 o'clock, my apologies. I was actually sat over there on the desk and I didn't think we were going live until later. But that's not the way which it rolled out, so whoopsie daisy, my bad, I do apologise. Now I think I need to press the down button. Yes, I do. So, you may notice the logo or on the tape on here, it is absolutely covered in their logos. So yes, the company which I got in touch with, one of the companies I got in touch with, is Sonnet Model. Now, you may be wondering, well Matt, didn't you slightly annoy them with a certain review a certain while back? And that's the one thing which I wanted to stress from the very beginning, is that the one thing which we must remember is that my views are always model specific. And the irony is that as much as I didn't like the Dart XL and whatever I named it after that, it turned out to be one of the most popular models. There's some irony for you. So anyway, we got discussing and chatting away, and I didn't go to them. In fact, let's flick it back because it's going to be one of those chats, right? I did go back. I actually went to them with. I didn't go, "Hi, how you doing?" I said, "Hi, I'd like to do this with you," and gave them that list of stuff, of promptly which they came back with, "Matt, that's about a year's worth of material. I know, give me about 2 months and I'll nail the lot." So this is the beginning of a relationship which I hope carries on for a period of time. So yeah, that was just to fill you in with some of the bits going on. Anyway, sounds fine, thank you Phil. And I am just keeping half an eye on your live chat as we're going along. Any comments or suggestions as we go through, please just let me know. I would love to hear your feedback, and I am as curious as you is what's in this box. It weighs 5 point something kilos. Hopefully it's got 3 little projects in here, but we'll find out. And let's just get straight in there, and hopefully there's some stuff which I can give away to those YouTube members as well. Now you may notice that there's a little scrolly bar going along the bottom of the screen down there. And I just want to say a big thank you to many of you which have been and supported this channel. Literally, I just started over the last couple of weeks, last week or so. And, ooh, what goodness have we got in here? Curious to see what we got. In fact, I'm not going to open these up. I'm just going to pick out 3 of you at random, and I'll ping you directly in one shape or form. And we'll get some of these out to you as well. So it looks like we've got some Sonnet Model cable battery straps, some stickers and bits and bobs, which is happy days. These things are hopefully what I think they're going to be, which are, yes, happy days. Okay. Is that we needed something to fly the other things which I've just noticed in the bottom of the box at. And this is where the fun really begins, because what happens is that if the model which you're flying, the only investment you have in that model is your receiver which you put in it. How much would you care about that model and what happens to it? How many Fs would you give it? Not many. So keep that in the back of your mind. Now we obviously need something to aim at, and got chatting away, and he said, I've got some of these floating around in the warehouse, would you like them? I said, absolutely, it'd be really cool for us to aim at them. And if we go into, and Caroline, thank you for that, I do appreciate that. Those of you which are on the live version, you may have seen in the chat. We do now have, I put it around that way. If you're not worked out what these things are, you're not seeing it really well, are you? Let me just go and change the screen. Right. Those are massive, great big air gates, which are going to be target practice for the three other things which are sat in the bottom of the box, which we will go and take a look at right now, because that's something else which I've got to try and get ready for the weekend. So looks like we've got two air gates, which is definitely happy days. Those ones are going to definitely stay in my possession, because we need to use them as target practice up and down the flight line. Let me just quickly look at your chat as well. Julian, welcome aboard. No problems if you need to shoot. Barlaam, nice to meet you. Stefan, howdy fella as well. Canada as well. Happy days. Good evening from gloomy Poland. Yes, it has been pretty bad here in the UK, by the way. And howdy Chris and Robert. Yes, absolutely. Air gates. Really looking forward to those. So you're going to start seeing them over in the next couple of videos. I will leave them probably just at the farm as well. Although I do have something else turning up here very shortly, which I need a target to aim at. So it might stay here for a short period of time. Right. One of the ideas which I pitched to them, and like I said, there is a very long list of lots of different ideas. And this one is actually a rehashed version of what my original idea was, which I'm not going to say it is on there. But what Sonnet Model have been and offered us are three identical models. If I go and get these three out and get rid of the box, we'll go and take a look at one of them. What happens is that if we get everything together and three pilots, three same setups, all they've got to do is turn up with a receiver and the same model. Let's get straight in here. And ironically, those of you which have been keeping up with the Joneses, we may have been doing something like the latest micro Talon. Well, that was Andy's suggestion, and then I did a micro binary V3, and they were all using exactly the same airframe. So if there's any airframes left after the absolute carnage, which is scheduled for this weekend, is that the plan is, if they're up for it, we might be seeing some more alterations of these and creating a collection of other mutant aircraft. Right, so these are the Sky Hunter Racings, which are basically the micro Sky Hunter, but made with, instead of EPO foam, made with EPP foam, which is, yeah, it's exactly this. Actually, there's some differences here. Okay, right, those of you which have had a micro Sky Hunter before, most of this is going to be very familiar to you, although this one does not want to come out. They have been and made some changes. Number one, they've been in laser etched their name on the bottom. This didn't have magnets before, so they've added that on the tail. And I also noticed that on the elevator fin, there are two pieces of plywood in there as well. So I think they've put that in there crudely to protect the servos, although I must admit I smashed mine around in corn and I still didn't properly kill it. So I don't know what else they've done with the wing. No, the wing looks exactly the same as well. Oh, there's an extra spar back there, so that is new. Anyway, so they have been and provided us free micro Sky Hunters, and my objective, my goal is, or my challenge, is between now and Sunday is to get 3 as close as possible micro sky hunters ready for the lads on the flight line on Sunday. So let's think about this for a moment, and let's go back to the other camera view. Let's think about this for a moment. 3 lads who fly FPV in varied degrees of skill, Andy, each flying a model which the only investment they've got in, they might need a battery, we'll sort that out in a bit, is the receiver. Everything else is fair game, and what happens from here, nobody really knows. So I've got a couple of things planned for the lads, which I've not told them yet. But whether we get any models left in pieces after this, nobody knows. But we will have a closer look at the Micro Sky Hunter. And again, I think it's probably fair to Sonnet Model that we do a proper unboxing and maybe a little build overview as well, since they have provided 3 of them to smash around the sky, and some air gates and some other goodies as well. And the absolute carnage which will ensue over the weekend. Now, hopefully, we get 3 different... fantastic! The other thing which got my attention is there are 3 different colours as well. So we'll obviously give Austin the red one, which will be the fastest one. We will give Andy the bogey green, and we'll give Josh the white one, and hope that you can see where he lands that one. And yeah, so that's the plan. So yes, we have been and received a couple of models here, and Matt has been chatting to a couple of people here in the background. One of the companies, which is Sonnet Model, which you may know as ZoHD, and after some deeper research, they probably make quite a lot more foam than what they're leading along with on their main site, and what we know of as well, from what I've worked out too. So just pausing for a moment to look at the chat. Hey Jack FPV, Sonnet Model, please make a better wing set for the binary. That's all needs the best FPV plane in the market. So hey Jack, actually I've got a video coming out very, very shortly. I think those of you which have already joined the channel as a member have probably already seen it, which is some constructive feedback on the binary. And again, something which I would like to maybe do a little bit better this time around is I can't promise you that I will get annoyed by rubbish components being put in a model, like the bonsai, for example, and then hitting it with a brick. I'm not apologising for that, and I never will, because I think that was a substandard component in what was a very good model, and we took a step backwards. And I can't promise that I will get annoyed or something like that in the future. However, what I do feel that I can perhaps do is go, well, actually, I got annoyed about this. So, like the binary, for example, it tip stalled on me. Yes, half of it was my flying. The other half is that was probably not how that model was designed to fly in the first place, after Matt got more educated on its actual use case for that model. So it's very easy for me and you to knock a model, isn't it? It's very easy to point sometimes out to us the obvious, maybe the wing section, as the chap just pointed out a few moments ago. However, where the real skill is, and where Matt would perhaps like to focus more of his attention upon, is that, well, actually, this isn't the best model in the world, but how could we make it better? So there is a video due out in the next couple of days, and it will be some feedback directly to Sonnet Model, although they may or may not have already seen it, the video. And we may or may not see a version 2 some point in the future. I don't know. It's just me providing feedback from what I saw as your comments on the tip stall video for the binary, and just trying to take a constructive view on how we could make, in that instance, that model better. So if a version 2 was ever considered in the future, that feedback could get taken on board, and then molded into a new version, if or when that ever happens. So yeah, that was the key piece of information which I wanted to get over this evening. Well, there's two pieces, or three to be honest. Number one, I am talking to a couple of different companies. Sonnet Model, ZoHD is one of them. Number two, I'd like to I would like to change a few of my previous approaches of the way the previous Matt would have handled things, and maybe become a little bit more constructive on some of the new things. And number three is that there are going to be some fun projects like this coming up very, very shortly. Literally this weekend, there will be 3 black micro Skyhunter racing, and there's the name racing. There's the biggest hint for you. With some Skygates, we do fully intend to smash the nuts out of them. And what do you think they're going to do with 3 models which they don't care about? So yeah, I will try and set them up as close as possible. Hopefully Josh doesn't set fire to his. Guaranteed Austin's going to get his in a tree. And I think Andy might try flying his through a gate. I don't know. After that, I have no idea. Sky Raid, thank you for that. Yes, absolute carnage. There's no other words for it as well. Ronnie, I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't see a Drift XL. I would like to call it the Draft. That's my name and suggestion for it. I think the moment that model turned up here. So those of you which don't know what I'm talking about, the Drift, which is actually ironically up here in pieces because it was easier to store that way. The Drift. I've really enjoyed my Drift. I really have. Although, I've got to be honest, right now I've been flying the Dart 250 way more, hence why it's down on the floor, because I've literally just been working on it for something else. Coming back to the Drift, I would love to see a larger version. Always one of the challenges, especially at the moment, again, knowing what I know and what you may not know, is that we had a big issue with getting products, specifically larger boxes from China into Europe and into the US. Basically anything which had a length over 600 millimeters, the air freight rate went to 3.5 times. So if something was $5 to ship it, it was $15 or more to stick it in the air freight. That's why we saw like Banggood, for example, that we started seeing rail as an option with like 30, I bought stuff from rail, which came in from Europe Rail, and they were given like anywhere between 30 to 45 days delivery time, because it was having to come across rail, because that was the cheapest option possible, because air freight was just ridiculously expensive. And you've got to remember, when you are buying items, we'll pick on Banggood specifically, they are subsidized. So not only is the shipping cost built in as normally as a factor into the actual item price which you're making the purchase anyway, but also remember that the Chinese government subsidized the shipping to get it into the United States, into Europe, or into some of the main hubs to then go and get it distributed on. It's part of their political structure right now to make that happen. It's one of the main reasons why China has succeeded so well, not only in the manufacture but also in the distributions from not direct. And I know I'm going on a tangent, but it will make sense. But it not only from a manufacturer to third party to retailer in the UK or wholesaler, and then going on to a third party, but the biggest win for those Chinese-based companies is from manufacturer direct to consumer, or as fast as possible. And that's what a site like Banggood does, is that facilitates that transaction, taking something which is one language, bringing it into English, centralized warehousing and distribution network, and then getting those things out to us. And ultimately we end up with cheap phone because the relationship is much closer, whereas back in the previous days there'd be like 3 different layers of profit being made in a model before we bought it. Nowadays 2, and that's it. Okay, so keep that in the back of your mind when it's, and I know I've gone off the topic, but it was just as valuable. Coming back to the Drift XL or Draft or whatever it's going to be called, would love to see this. we are probably going to get a wing limited model just for the logistic issues when it comes to dispatching a larger model. If you think about, it's just one of the challenges. I know how much they paid for that box to get it here. It was heavy as well, which didn't help, and if it was of a decent size. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's only maybe a 1.1 meter wingspan, so that it's like 55 centimeters for the wings on both sides, and then a bit of a fuselage in the middle, and the same for the boom. They are going to be, unless you break the wings up into 3 pieces, they are going to have challenges longer term with bigger size boxes. So Roddy, that was to answer your question, and I went off on a bit of a tangent, and I think that might have brought some of you up to speed with some of the issues which we've all had with why is shipping being so expensive. The answer is, the moment that the pandemic happened, is the prices just went straight through the roof for air freight because of the cost which was involved. So have gone off topic, but I hope that kind of makes sense. Quick note on there. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, my mini Talon was $68 shipping. Yeah. It's insane, isn't it? Whereas before you would have paid $68 all in, and probably less. It's absolutely nuts at all. Let's have a quick look. Stefan says he just did 5 kilometers with that. I take it that was with the Dart 250. Sorry, Chris, let me just look at your question on there as well. I have a drift on the way for my birthday. Happy birthday for when that happens. And I have a Dart 250, but I'm clearly a substandard pilot and have a lot of trouble getting in the air. So Chris, the one nice thing about the drift is that it is designed to be a very gentle flyer. Now that may sound a bit daft with having a channel called Rag the Nuts Off, and I do fly models like complete tools at times, but on the other hand is that I do quite just enjoy the entire FPV experience. And if you do set yours up for FPV, Chris, don't expect it to be fast or mad or anything like that. Just enjoy the experience. So for me, having the drift, it's just a chill out model. Get it in the sky, watch the sunset go down, watch the sun come up, even better, and just sit back and enjoy it. The 250G, really enjoying that one. Really am enjoying it. In fact, I have been toying with upgrading it to 3S. I don't think I'm actually going to do that because I think 2S for that model is absolutely nuts. And those of you which know, I did post an end screener summary for mine now for one of my videos a short while ago. I think it was the Cadillac Ratel, and we clocked up 47.92 kilometers in one single battery pack for that little model, which is just crazy considering the weight. I think it's 196 grams without batteries, which is just nuts because you can see I've got laminate on there as well, and there's still areas which I can save weight on. So there's even more efficiency available in that model, but at the moment it just flies so well. Really enjoy it. And by the way, it was also customer support, which was one of the reasons why I contacted Sonnet Model, because again and again you see people like with 1 or 2 specific issues, and they've done it publicly on whether it's on the Zoho HD page or the Sonnet Model page, and you see somebody getting back to them. I like that, and I'd rather work with a company which I know where the customer support is good. And let's face it, nothing always goes right. It would be nice if something went right all the time, wouldn't it? But in reality, sometimes stuff gets hot. My wings were bent on the drift. I've seen other people with bent tails and stuff like that, and it was just apparently the heat in one of the storage locations made some of the parts move, which sucks. But anyway, kept seeing decent customer support, so that was one of the major reasons why I got back into contact with Sonnet Model and said, look, how do you fancy doing some of these projects with me? Chris, let's have a quick look. Yes, so it seems like anything with a lipo in it. Chris, we can't get anything with a lipo in it at all into the UK. Literally nothing at all. I bought a fun model for a muck around, which I was going to send it from somewhere. They didn't include a lipo with it because they wouldn't have been able to ship it. We're having a right nightmare when it comes to batteries here in the UK at the moment, and it does really vary from one country to another. So a quick look. Not buying any more planes. In fact, I shall be selling all mine soon, all 70 of them. Vince, you have as much of an issue with model planes as what I do. I really do, and I'm just looking up there to see the racks, which I've got full. And I do want to share a couple of other models which I'm working on here, but I don't want to detract from tonight's topic, which was watch this space for a couple of really cool projects coming up with Sonnet Model. Whether it's Sonnet Model directly, like with the Sky Hunter Racing versions, or maybe some of the other crazier ideas which I sent to them, if they're fair game for them, because one or two of them were really on the edge of what could be done as well. Right, on that note, some quick look on there. Yes. Sorry, I'm looking at the live chat which is going on here in the background. Right, it's time for me to wrap up. I would like to say a massive thank you to you for taking the time to join me here this evening. I would love to tell you that I have a 4-meter wingspan Drac. On this Sunday, you might want to keep an eye on the YouTube channel for a live stream, because somebody, mentioning no names, this was not created by Sonnet Model, may have this is not going to fit. I'll give you a hint. You're seeing about 1/4 of the wing. And on that note, I'm going to leave it there. Somebody needs to keep up with the Joneses, because after that megalithic RC wing, which Andy and Josh and Austin turned up with last time, I thought I'd raise the bar. So they took the bar there, I set the bar there. So yeah, if it rains on Sunday, we'll have something to keep dry underneath, put it that way. All of us, because it's that big, and I mean it is absolutely monstrous. Some of you may have you seen the photos on the YouTube channel, and some of you may have seen the one or two little sneaky peeks which I've been posted on Facebook on my own profile. It's not small, and we're going to make it fly. Fingers crossed. I think, in fact, we're onto a dead cert. I'm a winner. We're a winner if it flies or not, and that was all down to those of you which have been joined on Facebook via YouTube on the membership program, because literally every single penny which you guys chipped in, I went out and spent that day in Wix's and a little bit more to get that project done, and the other project which I'm sure many of you already know about. But I'm not going to be able to do that tomorrow in one day. I've got three models here to make now, and I'm not going to make that thingy device. Watch the space on that one. So yes, it's quite large. On there, the viewer says, unfortunately I'm restricting myself to 1.5 max wingspan. Yeah, that's about 4 meters, maybe a bit more. I've not even measured it. It is massive. I can lie on it and it's still bigger than me. Work that out. That's how big it is. So anyway, I've been and gone and derailed ourselves again. Let me bring back full circle. Sonnet Model. You know who you are. Thumbs up. And I was glad to have that chat with you. And if this is day one of carnage, welcome aboard. Because this weekend, it's going to be nuts. So with that said, it's time for me to go. I would like to say a big thank you to you for taking the time to join me here for this ad hoc conversation. And this might give you a hint on some of the other things which are coming along. There is another big update as well to do with a certain RC company that will give you a hint. They actually got in contact with me directly, which was a really nice surprise. And we are going to be working on a very new product which they've been and brought out, which I've never used before, and I'm really curious on that one, so that's going to be fun. And the other great big long list which I sent a certain company, I can't wait to start cheering through that lot, because Yeah, they thought that was a year. I thought, we'd do that in 2 months easy. So, yeah, watch this space. There is carnage scheduled. On that note, if I have been and missed any of your questions, I do apologise. I've just wanted to kind of focus on the topic at hand and give you a hint on what else is about to happen and what carnage is to ensue. So on that note, it's the weekend very, very shortly. If you're out flying, have fun. If you stuff it in a tree, photo, share it with the rest of us so we can all laugh together. So on that note, for myself, Matt, I'm off. Have a fantastic evening. Cheerios. I need to shoot that way and hit the off button. No, I don't. I've gone the wrong way. What's up? I need to press the button over there. Just can't get the staff these days. Really. Do appreciate you joining me. Catch you again shortly. Cheerios.